This is what's called an affectation. Gene, why do you always wear glasses? Well, the truth is, over the years, because I've been doing this longer than 2 or 3 of you put together, I've been doing this for 40 years, getting in front of people, sticking my tongue out, or wearing more makeup than your mommy does, and higher heels too. So, over the years, my eyes have become sensitive to light, because when you're on stage, you get blinded all night, and you can't look away. You can kind of go like that. So it's become sensitive, but it's not too bright here, so you'll be able to see that beautiful. Oh yeah! And when the lights aren't so bad, as some people tell you, I prefer to take them off and just let you know that I consider this a privilege and an honor. And I don't want you to ever think that, Gene Simmons, he's an asshole, Besides, that may be true, but I really appreciate being given a chance to do what I do, because there, but for the grace of God, I could have been asking the next person in line, would you like some friends with that, sir? So I fully appreciate and understand that. Thank you. That what I do is it's a privilege, I'm blessed, and it's not a birthright. I think that baby just gave me the finger. But I said, well, let's just do this. I like that. So, you know what's interesting? Did you see the booklet that has Uncle Stanley and Gene Simmons together?
Yep.
Right? That everybody did. Didn't you get one of those guys? It's got the booklet with Stan going like this. There you go, and me going like that. So that's, Stanley actually came in, we know each other, we're pals. Is there anybody here who doesn't know who Stanley is? Okay, that's good. So that means you do know who Stanley is.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many know what his real given name is? Very good. What is it? Correct. And his brother, who worked sometimes as an artist at Larry, is correct. Lieber in auf Deutsch is lover. His real name is lover. Ich lieb dich, or ich liebe du, Lieber, lover. Stan lover. So the interesting story, backstory for me is I'm going like this on the cover, if you have one. Or rather, I'm going like this on the cover, and Stan is going like this on the cover. And here's the real story. 40 years ago, some people think Dio and stuff like that. No, I started doing that 40 years, about 10 years before Dio started doing it. And he was a great guy, no harm. We did a photo session in 1973. And because I owe almost everything that I do visually to comic books and monster movies and sci-fi, we were doing a photo session, and I was a big fan of a guy named Steve Ditko, who really was given and should be given the credit for creating the look of Spider-Man. He drew it and inked it, pencil and ink. Spider-Man shot his webbing like this, right? He put those two fingers together like this. He also created another character named Dr. Strange. May the hoary host of Hoggoth and the so on and so forth. Oh, he knows this stuff. God, Baron Mordo too. God, he knows that stuff too. And the way he would make the eternal Vishantu, the way he would cast spells is he would go like this. Even Penn Jillette knows that, right, Penn? Yes. Think about it, Penn. And good night. So Dr. Strange would go like that, Spider-Man would go like that. I was so fascinated by it as a kid, and I knew Flo Steinberg, the secretary, and Sam Rosen, and all these guys. I knew like all the minutiae, and still do. that when it was time to do our photo session as a personal homage, which is a French word that nobody can spell, I did this in a 1973 photo session like that. And then we started going on tour, and I noticed that we started to make headway with fans. They liked it, they're going, wow, man, blah, blah, blah. So I was busy holding on to my guitar pick, and I wanted to wave back at them, but I couldn't, because then the guitar pick would fall over. See, one hand playing the bass, the other hand with the pick. So I wanted to wave at them, so I'm holding the pick, and I'm going, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. And they immediately started doing that, which is why in any stadium, in any part of the world where there's soccer, and people may not know about Gene Simmons, impossible. Stuff, they all do this, or like this, and for some reason they stick their tongue out, don't they? They may not know why, but that's where it came from. So this stuff came from the stage. This stuff came from my homage to Marvel, Stan, and Steve Ditko, and Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. And that's why, to this very day, when somebody says, rock on, they're doing my sign as an homage to Steve Ditko. Now you know.
Oh,
see?
Cool.
You little son of a bitch.
Live to win, live to win.
Yes, are you from Paris, France?
Come on, Gene.
What? I can say that. If I was gay, I would do me. So, you know, part of this is, I wanted you to know that I wanted to come to Fandomfest. When I was a kid, I was lucky enough in 1968, maybe it was before, maybe it was 1868. I went to my first convention. It was not a comic book convention, it was called LunaCon. LunaCon was in New York City, and they had science fiction writers there, Isaac Asimov and people like that, Foundation Trilogy, all that stuff. Later on, Isaac Asimov became my next door neighbor. That was amazing. So I talked to him about the laws of robotics and all this stuff, and he said, get away, kid, you're bothering me. Really cool. And he thought I was somebody. No, I didn't. And at the comic convention, by hearing and seeing people who I looked up to, that you thought were unattainable and weren't real people, I got a first-hand idea when I saw Forrest J. Ackerman, the guy that created Famous Monsters of Filmland, that my neighbor down the street, Steven Spielberg, and I both grew up reading. It was a magazine about horror movies and sci-fi, excuse me, and it was very important in our formative years. He went off and did imagination movies and stuff like that, and I went off and did whatever it is that I do, but we both started with the same sort of love of the imagination and sci-fi and fantasy and all this stuff. But the point of it all is that when I was at LunaCon, 1968 in New York City, I saw real flesh and blood people who I'd only thought about as these mythical people that didn't really exist, didn't eat, didn't do the same things I did. So over the course of the years, although almost none of you have ever met me and I you, there are tons of people around the world that I have met, have gone on to, because I want to connect and make sure that you know that I poop every day just like you do. And that I and people like us are thrilled that we got a chance to do what we love to do, because if you love what you do, you'll what? You'll never work a day in your life. And you do it 7 days a week because you love doing it. And people keep asking me, why don't you ever take a vacation? But I like doing this. If I take a vacation, I won't do what I like doing. So every day, yesterday we played in London, in Canada. Tonight I got to fly to Montreal because this band I'm in, we're playing in Montreal. So every day, you got to treat as if it's the only day you'll ever have to live. Imagine this. God appears to you and says, listen, pal, you've got 24 hours of life. That's it. The clock starts ticking now. 24 hours from now, see you. Next person. What are you going to do? Sit on your thumb and wait to die? Or are you going to get out there and just do big stuff, leave a mark, do some good for somebody else, create something, do something? If you live every day as if it's the only day you'll ever have, you'll sleep great, you'll eat great, you'll love really good that woman next to you or the farm animal, whatever you prefer. You will be in the minute, you'll pay attention, you'll actually listen to your woman when she talks to you. Instead of letting it phase out. Oh, he's giving him the death look. How come you almost know? So I'm telling you that it's really important to make sure you're here and now, and you smell it, and you live it, and you breathe it, and just all that stuff. So the reason I'm here, I want you to know I'm here because I want to be. I make a living, they pay me. They pay me even more. I appreciate it. But I'm here because I want to be, and I want you to know that people like me can be any one of you. You have an advantage. Almost all of you were born here. When I first came to America as about 8.5 years of age, I couldn't speak a word of your language. One of the first things I ever heard was, what are you, stupid? Can't you even speak English? Of course, revenge is making them all work for you, but that's what I'm saying. Living well is the best revenge, but work, that's what it's all about. I can wax poetic and prolific as long as you like, ad infinitum ad nauseum. Do you want to engage me in conversation, or do you want me to just talk? What's that? Engage. Okay. I would pull this out into the audience, but I don't know if I can. And this, they don't have, can we do it? Yeah, I like that. You're giving me enough rope.
We want to see the tongue.
Well, you need to stick my tongue out?
Yeah.
I would love to, but
Hey, Jay.
as you can tell, the floor is a little dirty.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Isn't life fun? Can I have some of that?
Oh, what? More delicious?
Some
Or some salad?
I have some salad.
Absolutely.
I swallowed. But you didn't think it was going to turn out to be this, huh? So you wanted to engage? Was it you that wanted to engage?
Yes.
Ask her permission first.
Do it.
Come on up. Let him see you. You're good looking.
See, I'm up here and I go blink. As one bass player to another. As one bass player to another. I always had trouble with the vocals on stage, you know? Vocal on stage. Alright. When you first were starting out, how often do you
Practice what?
play with this?
Well, the real story is if people are going to be seeing you live, they're actually going to be listening with their eyes. I should slow down and say that again. When people come to see you live, they're listening with their eyes, not their ears. So you could really suck, and you can make a mistake. But if you look like this, watch. Sorry. He meant to do that. So live, you have to play your body first and foremost. And yeah, the music, yeah, you should try to hit all the right notes. But if you make a mistake, oh yeah, look what I just gave you, some extra stuff. How do you like that? Meantime, it's, yeah, give me one some more. Here's some more. That's the truth. Then when you go home and you listen to the line, you're going, that must be another day. That's not the same yet, as long as there's conviction. But if you hear great music, great live music, and they're doing like this, and they're looking at their shoes, they're not so great, right? Have you ever heard Stones recordings live? Is it better or worse than when you see the Stones live?
It's almost just the same.
I don't think so. I think it's better. It's better when you see the Stones live, because you see them.
I was talking about.
That's the idea, that people see the band, and they get so much more than just listening to this, because live, it's pretty sloppy. But at least it's live, as opposed to Shakira, Faandomfest, Madonna and Rihanna, Schmegalina, and everyone's with the A. They're all great. They sing great, they look great, they're cute, they're stuff. It's fake. It's tape music. Do it live. Or tell your fans, and your fans love you, whoever you are, tell your fans 70% is tape music and just sing over it. That's fine. But you can't have 50 guys named Brad and Chad dancing on the Shakers and pole back in Las Vegas without microphones, and they're singing 3-part harmony. And doing it, they look good doing it, and they're never out of breath. It's fake, it's karaoke. So I wish them all well. I hope the fans are great. It's dishonest. What do you think? The Stones, ACDC, Metallica, it's real, it's live. You can hate it, but it's real, it's honest.
I appreciate the low fidelity very much. I believe that like a lot of our music is lost this day and age just because of the overproduction of it.
Well, yeah, that's another issue. But if somebody strums a guitar, I want it to be happening right then and there. If somebody's hitting the piano or going, I want it really there, not someone in the back pressing a button. Or at least tell me you're pressing a button and that is fake. Good. Thank you. Who dares brave? Come on, fellas. Okay.
So with the
By the way, that's a great T-shirt. Who made that?
Fright Rags in Rochester, New York.
Can I dance with them?
It's a parody, can you?
It's Chucky, Freddy, Smashers, and Hits.
And these guys are licensed. Slashers, Smashers, and Hits, yeah. And they tried to get Michael Myers, but they didn't have a Halloween license until after they made the shirt. So.
Donald Pleasance.
Very good, John Carpenter. So with the plan to
Jamie Lee Curtis, but okay. And Tony Curtis and I are
Charles Cyphers, we could go all day.
But Tony Curtis and I have been pals for 25 years, but now he's gone. Okay, go ahead.
I met him at Chile. He's a nice guy.
But I spoke to him in Hungarian because I'm fluent in Hungarian.
All right. With the plan to open up 500.
By the way, anybody speak Hungarian?
I can speak German.
Ich habe gelernt Deutsch auf der Schule vor 6 Monaten. Wie viele Jahre bist du? Du kannst du sprechen Hochdeutsch oder Bavarier Deutsch? Was sagst du? How many words in German can you speak? Didn't ask you if you took it for 2 years, I just asked you, kannst du sprechen Deutsch? Ja. 9 or 10, it doesn't matter. Yeah. was going to say, I wasn't pulling your leg. I can't speak Hungarian. Anyu kamszület Magyarországból, Jánt mellett, a Budapest mellett, és jól beszélek magyarul. Or you can try me in Hebrew, a little German, a little Japanese, and some English.
Some English.
Pardon?
French.
All you need to know is do l'amour de ma vie. You're the love of my life. And then when it's proper, you can say salut, which means bitch. But so that comes after. You're the love of my life. Then if it's proper, say bitch. And Russian too. No, it's much bigger.
With the plan to open up 500 Rock and Brews in the next 5 or so years.
Oh, you mean rockandbrews.com?
Yes. How close to the East Coast, maybe Northeast, Mid-Atlantic states, New England states, do you think you'll bring it?
All kidding aside, the Rock and Brews restaurant chain, which is doing gangbusters, is really going to depend on finding partners locally that we can work with. And what that means is you don't want somebody, some outsider who doesn't understand the local marketplace. You want to have somebody who provides jobs for people here. We want to buy local, like let's say we open one right in Louisville. We want somebody who can at least pronounce the name correctly, know a little bit about the history, buy local produce, buy local meats, we have anywhere from 80 to 100 craft beers, which means local breweries that hire people, that give people the right taste buds, because it's different around the country. So you want to give people the right experience, the right thing, but also commitment of being there 7 days a week. I want the partner to live in the town, to go home, to bring his friends and family and so on. So you get the authenticity, which is a big word like gymnasium. So a long-winded way of answering your question is we will open as many because we can, but only if and when and where we find partners in the local marketplace that can stay committed to it.
With craft beer, sometimes you find the production of the microbreweries outside of major metropolitan areas, but unfortunately restaurants like you got Hard Rock and things like that, based on traffic counts alone, it disqualifies a lot of the areas that the microbreweries could be abundant in. Do you think you would, if it suits the business model, reach out into those areas like above New York City, a couple hours, where Hopstead started and things like that?
We want to support the local breweries in the area first and foremost.
Yeah.
We make gluten-free beer. There's gluten-free pizza for those people that want that stuff. You can bring your kids there. You can even bring your pets. We're local municipalities, which means cities. You gotta use a big word, municipality. No, city is not enough. So where local cities allow it, you can bring your pets too. So it's a real family experience. And again, I sidestep your answer, but not intentionally. It means you want to support the local marketplace, give local people jobs. Our wounded warriors get first dibs, they get jobs first. Anybody who voluntarily risks life and limb to go overseas so that you can goof off and watch reruns of I Love Lucy, I'm sorry, it was an old television show, deserves to be first in line. You're at a Starbucks grabbing a coffee, get out of the way. There's a hero in back of you, just doesn't want a big parade or a big thing. At least let him have a cup of coffee first. Right? At least you can do it. You're a powerful, attractive man. Come and get it. I'll give you mine. Ooh, this one's better. I like the sound of my voice. Oh, you're so big.
I've seen a lot of photos of you over the years using different races.
Talk right in there. You've seen a lot of photos of me over the years. Talk into that.
Yeah, many photos of you over the years using different race guitars. I was just wondering which one is your favorite?
That's a good question, but I have a first question to ask you.
Yes.
I look good, don't I? I started using, in real life, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Don't hurt my feelings.
Oh, you
Say
did.
some- all right.
Oh, yeah.
I started, I didn't like the way basses were, what they looked, how they felt, how they, you'd pick up your hands and they'd fall, like the Jesus Christ pose, and then the neck would fall down because it was neck heavy. And I didn't like the Fender basses because you couldn't reach all the way up because the body came into the neck. So I had a guy named Charlie LeBeau make me a bass, which I broke within a tour. I fell on it, broke in half and everything. But that's the precursor, which doesn't mean you curse, it just sounds like it, to the Punisher bodies, which have two horns where the neck is totally exposed so you can go all the way to the top instead of like that. So you can get the highest note, so it's a 2.5 octave range, and all my basses are like that. So over the years I've played on record Fender, Pete basses, and all kinds of stuff. But usually I settle on Punishers, which I manufacture. By the way, go to gsax.com. I would be remiss in my inferred fiduciary duty to myself if I didn't tell you where you can get yours. We also have the chrome versions, which I don't see up there. Are they up there? Oh, they're sold? Oh, I see, they're all sold.
The reason I asked is I have a BC Rich at home, and I was just curious.
BC Riches are good, but not as good as mine. By the way, I should tell you, if you're interested, have you ever heard of an artist named Ken Kelly? Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Ken painted an album cover called Love Gun and Destroyer. He's holding it up. There were actually two versions of that cover painted, but Ken Kelly is actually Frank Frazetta's cousin, which I didn't know. Frank Frazetta was like the Conan the Barbarian, those classic big things.
Big hips.
Sorry?
Big hips.
Yes. Big hips, did you say?
Yes.
I'm straight, I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from, what it means.
All his women had big hips. It was the art of Frank Frazetta's.
The guys have big hips.
No, women.
Oh, the women. Well, they do.
Full figure.
Full figure.
Yes.
Very much.
Thank you, Jesus. Now I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, okay, so Ken Kelly and I sort of known each other through the years, and I'm the guy that actually negotiated with him for the price of doing the paintings and all that. So he hated me then, but he likes me now. So what Ken is going to be doing that I'm going to be announcing shortly is, he's going to take my basses, thank you, the Punisher and the axe, and put them on an easel, which is like painter's language, and he's going to be doing original, one-of-a-kind Ken Kelly paintings on every single bass. No, one of 3, one of 14. Each one's going to be unique. Each one's going to be signed by Ken, numbered, no numbered, because there's only one. It's going to be dated, so on the date and time and place that Ken does it, it's going to be signed by him. I'll sign it as well, so that each Punisher and axe Ken Kelly piece of art is going to be original, and that comes shortly. Do you know when? That's October. That's Paul Halen, and he takes care of the axes and the basses. And if you've ever seen the Gene Simmons axe bus, you've ever seen those things? He's actually insane, So he and somebody's got him locked up in chains in the trunk. They actually drive across the country, stop after stop, city after city. How many miles would you approximate you've driven since you first got into those buses?
78,000 miles.
78,000 miles of driving. That's like, America's about 4,000 miles across, so that's a lot of time. So we're really committed. So that Ken Kelly stuff is coming up soon, and I'm very excited by that. So is Ken. Is that good?
I gotta tell you, you're a living legend to me. I mean, honestly. I mean, I was.
Here's the best part. Here's the best part of being a living legend.
Yes.
Living.
Oh, I agree.
Because if you're a legend and you're dead, it's not so much fun.
I was watching you when I was a kid, and I still enjoy your music. It's an honor to be here.
It's nice of you to say. But I was going to say that, I was going to segue into living legend. I appreciate the legend part, not an issue for me. Living part is really good. But speaking of legends, Elvis Presley. I actually do a great Elvis Presley impression. Yeah, want to see it? Elvis Presley. Sitting or standing? Standing. Elvis Presley. I do Jimi Hendrix, I do Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain. Ready? I didn't make that up. Mama Cass? Thank you, sir. Come on up. Thank you.
Hey, Gene.
How you doing?
I am great. I bet everybody here loves Sonic Boom.
Yeah.
Monster is even better.
Yeah.
Tommy and Eric are great.
Thank you.
Wonderful additions to the band. I bet everybody agrees with that. Are you going to do another album? Is that for me?
That's what happens when I The answer is yes. We're already working on new material. I wrote a new song that I'm really proud of called Your Wish is My Command. It's going to be a great song.
Can we get a sample?
That is great. Thank you, Jesus. Saw you in Nashville with my beautiful girlfriend Jeanette. Last September it was my 40th KISS show. We will see you in South Carolina in August 13th, Simpsonsville.
No idea.
I'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ask him about Forey.
Oh, we already talked about Forey Ackerman.
40?
Forey Ackerman. You had mentioned famous monsters of film, and then you.
Far Side.
I'm staying here. 34 seconds. You did your own monster fan magazine growing up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Kind of based on famous monsters.
When I was 14 years of age, I never had, I never went out. I was a loner all my life. I used to publish and write and edit and all this stuff, my own magazines. One was called Cosmos. Another one was called Tinderbox and Fawn, F-A-U, and a few others. And I'd stay home all the time and just kind of, I bought a mimeograph machine and a hexagraph and all this stuff, and like, what does that lead to? It actually gave me lots of experience when I launched my own magazine, Gene Simmons Tongue. So you see, it all works out. But yeah, you should do all kinds of stuff. When you have free time, do everything. Anything your imagination. I just want to give you a real secret. When you think about any large corporate entity, because they don't teach you this in school, I do lots of speaking engagements. In fact, my next book is coming out shortly called Me Incorporated, Me INC, which is, you have two pockets. You better make sure the money going in is more than the money that goes out. It's such a simple business model. America apparently doesn't understand that. 17 trillion in debt. Don't get me started. So the book really is going to show you how the most successful things on the planet were not started in big cities, were not started by big corporate entities. They were started by individuals with big ideas that actually did something about their ideas. This thing that we're human beings flying through the air without wings, that was not invented in Paris or New York. That was invented in Kitty Hawk by two brothers that didn't have a clue what they were doing, who owned a bicycle shop. And HP Computers was invented in a garage, and Facebook is a guy named Zuckerberg, who stole it or not, from the Winkledorf twins. But in either case, he was a kid. He's still a kid. What is he now, 27? By the way, his net worth shot up another 3.3 billion in the last month or so. I know him. Do you want to meet him? Pardon me?
I said no.
Okay. But I'm telling you that the big ideas don't start with larger. You have a big idea, I guarantee you the difference between big ideas and reality is what you do about it. I had an idea, let's put a band together we never saw on stage. Great idea. Go make it happen. It's up to you. Good?
Thank you.
Should I come to you?
I'll go out there.
All right. I'm deliriously happy.
Question is, the song that you, all songs you were written, about you and the band, which one's your most favorite as of today and live?
Wow.
So far.
Detroit Rock City is pretty symphonic. Like it's more than just a song, so it's like a production. We didn't start writing God Gave Rock and Roll to You, but I think the arrangement is sort of on a higher level. With sort of, that's got sort of symphonic Queen-like
Yes.
thing. My favorite song. Well, songs are more than just songs. Songs are diary pages from your life, really. When you have that right song, if you get married to forever, then that becomes your song, because it's part of your wedding. If you, that first song. So for me, Deuce has a lot of meaning because we used to start the very first tour, the very first song, we started off with Deuce. And so for me, when we play it live, it brings back sort of all those memories. So for me, I would say Deuce.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
I will have to tip my hat to Jagger Richards, who, more specifically Keith Richards, who wrote a song called, I kid you not, and I'm not saying this for a fact, a song called Bitch. And the horn line of that goes, so in terms, as a songwriter, the thing that sticks out is against the root, which is that's called the flat third. And that's where Deuce came. Did you hear the tonality? That's where I got that riff. And then the song wrote itself. Yeah, come on up. I love Leonard Skinner. Come on up. It's not.
I'd like to start this off by saying you're a hero, man. And so given today's music industry, which obviously ain't in too great a shape, what would you tell to somebody who's just starting out in a band?
Somebody's just starting out in what kind of band? Doing what kind of thing? Because there are different rules. How would you describe, don't use the word good because nobody knows what that is. Is it symphony, is it opera, is it country, is it southern rock, what is it?
Kind of like a mix between rock and roll.
What kind of rock and roll? Grateful Dead's rock and roll, Led Zeppelin's rock and roll. So what kind? English?
Southern rock.
Southern rock.
With a little bit of English rock.
Okay. So where do the southern bands come from?
South Alabama.
South Alabama. So perhaps you may want to move there. But the truth is the record companies are, I'm going to make you answer your own question. Where are even the record companies that are remaining? What cities are the record companies in?
LA, New York, places like that.
Okay. So you're answering your own question. If you wanted to do a country act album, where would you go? London, Paris? Oh, see, so you know the answers to all these. If you want a record contract, you know what the record companies are. Do you know the sort of classic Arab old phrase which means the mountain will not come to Muhammad, Muhammad's going to have to go to the mountain. It means nothing's going to come to you. You're going to have to go with missionary zeal, sort of like the ones who knock on the door. Jesus loves you. Like without you knocking on the door and going after the thing, it's not going to come to you. So what kind of band do you want to do?
Rock and roll.
Well, where do you live?
Just like Eastern Kentucky.
That's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. You want to race in the Kentucky Derby? Stay right here, ride on the horses, and tug on the shirt sleeves of people and show them you've got the magic horse and stuff. Because if you have a horse in New York, nobody's going to care, right? And if you have a country act and you start wearing cowboy hat like Hoss from Bonanza and you're walking down the street in LA, they're going to look at you like you're a freak. But if you're in Nashville, it's the right thing. That's one of the precepts, the 3 corners of success in my book. The right thing, at the right place, and the right time. Elvis doing, hound dog, you ain't nothing. He's got the right thing. Probably came from the right place and it was the right time. The beginning of rock and roll. Did it all there. The tsunami starts, he was right there. Imagine Elvis going, you ain't nothing but a, when people were dancing like this in the 1700s, right? And he comes out and goes, you ain't nothing but a hound dog. Not wrong place, wrong time. Gotta have the right thing. I can't make you do that. You gotta have the right songs at the right place. You're probably in the wrong place, Kentucky. Yeah. You'll figure it out. Can I get a backstage pass when you become a big star?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, young lady, come on up. You got something in your hand.
One of my questions is, where did you come up with your makeup, and could I give you a gift?
Oh, that's great. Look at that. Can you show everybody? Wow. Fantastic. It's a little bumpy on top, but I think I can make it out. I beg your pardon? It's terrific, and it looks like that's me and me.
Your mirror image.
Yeah, but talking here.
The mirror image.
Wow, it's very impressive. Your boyfriend did that?
Yes, he's sitting right there.
He's a very talented guy. Is this what you want to do for your future or today?
I would love to, but I haven't had the opportunity.
There's no such thing you haven't had the opportunity. It's not going to come to you. You've got to make your own opportunity. The harder you work, the luckier you get. It's not going to come to you. You've got to go to it. So if you wanted to do something like this, and there are, what's the population of Louisville? Does anybody know?
1 million.
Maybe if during all the farms and the outskirts and everything.
That's right, it's all county around it.
So metro areas, how many?
County is 1.1 million.
Really? And surrounding farms and horses, how many? I see. So would you have better luck making more money in a city that has 1 million or 8 to 10 million? Where are the art galleries? Where's all the money? Where's all? So you can decide for yourself if you want to be a big fish in a small pond. I'd rather be a small fish in a big pond, because a small fish in a big pond could be 10 times as big as the biggest fish in a small pond, relatively speaking. I have more chances of success, more swings of the bat, and more strikes are possible in big cities than in smaller cities. Depends how much money you want. I'm forever, endlessly insatiable. Insatiable. Thank you. I used to teach 6th grade. I should know that. But it does come and go. I'll be 64 this month. So but ultimately it's semantics, but I'm not anti-semantic. I like that kind of stuff. So what was the question?
Would you like to have it as a gift?
Of course. I'd be thrilled. Can I have it signed by your wonderful beloved? Is he husband?
Boyfriend.
Boyfriend. Better marry her soon. I would love that.
Okay.
Would you sign it for me?
Absolutely.
Don't you want them to look at you? Come on up.
They've already seen me once.
Bastard, aren't you? going to do what I think most people do. Hold this.
$40.
Do you have it on? I like your boots.
I'll trade you, Jeannie. You sign her, I'll sign you.
The reason I reached into my boot is to show you that my office goes wherever I go. I always have a pen. I always have pads, little pieces of paper, my credit cards, yes, even my KISS Visa card. I know where I'm going, what I'm doing at all times. That's important. And when I met a few business people here who do t-shirts and popcorn farts and whatever. Can I have your card? Oh, I left it in my... Snooze, you lose. I'm always ready. And I've got my electronic backup on my KISS. I got it all. Shannon sent me a text. Son of a bitch, you better not be looking at the chicks. Lord! No, that's not what she said. I was going to do another joke. I like your boots too. What's your style? My boots go all the way up to here. No, I lie like all men do.
My boots go all the way up to here.
Not saying a word. Okay, what am I signing? So you're not going to talk into the microphone, so I'm going to keep...
What do you want to sign? You're going to sign
Don't do that to me. How are you? How am I? How should I be? Who wants to know? Why are you asking? Just tell me.
My name is Michelle. You can sign anything else after that you want.
Okay. Ma'am?
Yes.
No.
You're looking at Gene Simmons.
My music. Won't hurt a bit. One L or two L's? Two L's. You want an E on the end or without? The great thing about writing a woman's name, it's an adventure. You never know how she wants to spell it. Michelle, how do you spell that? F-K-H. Of course. What's your name? John. I know how to spell that. Good? Okay. Yes. Be gentle. Yes. Do I have to be bent over? Can I stand up? Like this? Everybody's a comedian. Don't touch my ass. Look this way.
Look this way.
$5.
I told Deadpool to put it on my tab earlier, so.
Deadpool, yeah. Why did it look like you were looking at the ceiling when you were taking a photo, talking to the mic?
Because I'm short. I have to go like this to get both of you in it.
But you can look easier by bringing it down here. You know what I mean? Like your eyesight's not up to here. If you go like that, you can see straight ahead.
I know, but I couldn't see all of you.
Oh, because I was up.
Yes, you're tall.
Oh. Men are slow. But we mean well. You should see my son. He's another 6 inches above. He's 6'8".
Wow.
Yeah. So what, Gene? That's it. That's mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good deal. Pleasure. I don't think that's mine.
Gene, we have 5 more minutes. Any more last questions? Please make sure to ask.
Okay. How about the baby? You gotta take a look. Watch him steal the show. Watch. Turn around. Show him.
This is Nicholas. I named him after your son.
I know. So I gotta
Just turned 17 months old.
I gotta take a photo. You see what he's got in his mouth?
I got the kids connection on an apple.
I'm gonna sue those guys. Camera roll. Women know that men cannot take a photo if their life depended on it. Okay, close up. 1, 2.
Okay.
Look me, Nicholas. No, he was giving me a pound. He was giving me a pound. There you go. He gave me the clap too. No. I shouldn't. Because bad story. Mommy gave me her child to hold. I looked away for a second. She let go. I let go. Boom.
Oh no.
So I should.
Okay, so
Yes.
I met you back in 2003, back when you all played with Aerosmith. The Carmichael's bookstore, you did a book signing.
When Aerosmith played with us, yes.
When Aerosmith first time meeting you, and I'll show this picture to everybody around, and they all tease me like, "Oh, you're hugging him." I'm like, "Man, I waited my whole life to meet him. It was just a dream come true, and I want to thank you very much for that." And I told you, "Thank you for everything you've done for me," and you said, "No, thank you." And my heart just like soared. So I really appreciate everything that you've done. I was talking to Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer a couple years ago at the Indianapolis Expo. Sorry. And anyhow, though, I was asking about when you guys are doing the new tour, you have so many songs, and I know it's very hard to please everyone and pick another song to play. Would you guys ever add Ladies Room back to the set list?
Sure.
I asked Tommy to ask you that, because he wants to do All Hell's Breaking Loose.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, I mean, there's a lot of songs, you know, we've gone through, and I know you can't play all the, you know, obscure things for everybody.
You know, we all, well, some of us assume that everybody thinks like we do, but I will tell you that I get asked questions from all sides of the spectrum. One fan and his group of well-meaning, wonderful fans love the band and it's appreciated. Angry as all hell that we're not doing an all-elder tour. Well, that's nice, except the masses go, "What's that?" So, you know, you can't, we do the best we can. We introduce, like we did, Delilah, we did some other new stuff, and say, yes, the stuff that still goes better is Detroit Rock City and Love Gun, and it still goes better. That's what people want to sing to you. So, do I want to play I Was Made for Loving? I hate that song. I'm 6'2", 235 pounds. Here's what I want to do on stage. Stud, let us sing. I don't want to sing like that. But I tell you what, no matter where we go, stadiums full of people go nuts and jump up and down like locusts from the biblical plague when they hear that song. So I love playing that song. Ultimately, we want to do the stuff that makes everybody happy, not me happy. I'll give you a philosophy we all share that I've always adhered to. Make believe you don't like spinach. But if you were a chef in a restaurant, yes. If you were a chef in a restaurant and somebody asked you to make him a spinach souffle, you should make him the best spinach souffle you could ever have, even though you personally don't like spinach, right? So that's our philosophy. Yes. Have you thought about starting a band? On your own time. That tongue is hilarious. No, I meant mine.
Okay, so anyhow, I have so many questions I want to ask you. I only have a limited amount of time here, but anyway, Monster's great.
I want to interrupt you for a second because you said something. When you said thank me, and I said no thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so whatever you got out of this, I got out of it more.
Wow.
Well, without getting too cornball, let's call it for what it is. Without you, nothing. You're the boss. I just work here, right?
Sure.
That's why You give me more than I could ever give you.
Because I really missed the Gene Simmons Family Jewel show, and I know that you guys can only make it for some years, but
Right.
it was great. I've been trying to find all the other seasons on DVD, but I've heard that Shannon and Sophie are working on a new television show. Is that true?
They are. Sophie and Shannon, that's right, are working on they're filming right now, filming in Vancouver. I can't do that, that's holy stuff. Wars have been fought for this. The 5-second rule. That's 5 seconds. Sophie and Shannon are making their own show. I'm very disappointed to tell you it's not going to start with Gene Simmons, Sophie and Shannon's show, which I thought was a better title. It's going to be Sophie and Shannon something. We don't know what the title is, but they're going to have their own show. Nick, Sophie has sung the national anthems of America and Canada at BC Stadium, Vancouver. She has sung with the Tenors, which is a Canadian sort of tenors band, in Dallas, Texas, where they sang, all of them, a cappella on one of the songs Sophie wrote. Sophie just went for an acting thing, blah, blah, blah. Nick, this month, is the John Varvatos model. If you go to johnvarvatos.com, you'll see a very good-looking young man. And he's right now in the studio with a guy named Eddie Kramer. With his band. Nick's got a band that sort of sounds like if Jim Morrison was in Led Zeppelin. It's very impressive, but he's not going to play me very much until he's ready. Eddie Kramer, for those of you that don't know, engineered or produced the Beatles. All you need is love. You know that song? That one too. And he did Led Zeppelin and all the Jimi Hendrix records and Humble Pie and Kiss. So he's working with Nick because he likes it. What do you think?
Say hello.
Hello. Hello. Not today.
One more question. One more question. Make it a good one.
James, this is one short question.
I can't wait for this. Okay. Should I go there or do you want to come up? Yeah, come on. Why don't you come up here? Come on up, darling. All right. Be respectful. I know that.
Explain to me how all these bands have managed to disappear.
You have to talk into this, they can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Check, check. Explain to me how
Yeah.
Kiss has managed to stick together when, you know.
A lot of bands
Yeah,
break up.
disappeared.
Well, I'll try to answer this as succinctly because that's the proper way to pronounce it, not succinctly, like success. We didn't survive the cliches of rock and roll. Two of the original guys who started off were equally as important as Paul and myself. We were four guys, all for one for all. Had one dream. They succumbed. They decided to go far left or far right and succumb to the, it's not even original, the cliches of rock and roll, drugs and alcohol. The quickest way to the poorhouse, other than bad luck and bad place and all that stuff. Not once, 3 times. They went bankrupt 3 times. So, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? Maybe.
Absolutely.
Yes, so maybe that's one of the reasons we stuck. We decided no 1 or 2 people are going to decide if the band is over or not. And that there are others who maybe would be proud to get up on stage and consider it a privilege to work their butts off and show up on time and do the best they can. And it's true, they're not original. But if original members is what it's all about, you would never have seen the Beatles, because Ringo was not an original member. Pete Best was. You like AC/DC? That ain't the lead singer. Van Halen became twice as big with Van Hagar, whether you like it or not. And I'm the guy that discovered Van Halen. I know that. There was something my level. So, whether you like Journey or Skinner or anybody else, there are a lot of, you like the Rolling Stones? Not the original members. Almost anywhere you look, yeah. So almost anywhere you look, even if it's the lead singers, Genesis can't exist without Peter Gabriel. Actually, they can. You have the drummers singing and then they play stadiums. They get bigger. In fact, it seems to be if you get rid of the lead singer that started the band, you become 2-3 times as big. AC/DC, you know, it's like right down the line. So the real answer is there are no rules, and never let one person who doesn't appreciate what God has given them to blow it for everybody else. If somebody on the soccer team is high or drunk, kick their sorry asses off the field and get somebody else to team.
It's not gonna hurt anyone, you know?
No, actually it will.
Drink and drive.
Right, don't drink and drive, that's right. Privately, yeah, sure. But it's not going to make you strong, it's not going to make you smarter, there's no vitamins, your schmeckle doesn't get bigger, nothing happens. In fact, for guys out there, if they drink enough, it won't work at all. You'll throw up on the shoes you just bought, tomorrow you'll have a headache, it costs money, and you'll smell like a truck driver. There's no vitamins, you can't win, it doesn't work. I can understand, keep drinking this, that'll get bigger and fatter. Okay, give me a gallon of that. But it doesn't even do that, you can't win. That's what my mommy told me, and she's always been right.